Hello, welcome to Network. My name is Phumelele Zondo with your technology and social media news. It is SABC Network. Now, that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za. On email, take those details down. This week, Twitter poll is asking you if you have trust in crypto again. This as there are investors who now trust cryptocurrency. Again, results of that are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what's coming up in this particular program. We find out how young girls are being trained in tech. We have details on a scooter that's been developed here in South Africa. It is an electric vehicle. We also have a conversation about tech in the gassy economy. For a long time in the tech sector, there's been worry on how to bring young girls and women up to speed in what's happening in the tech sector, so they too are part of the gig economy. But there are various initiatives that are trying to assist in this regard. Here's producer Lebo Mukumela.
Research shows that only 13% of graduates leaving tertiary institutions with qualifications in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, otherwise known as STEM, are women in South Africa. This, of course, is due to various reasons. Chairperson at Wired for Women, Nomonde White Ndlovu, ironed out some of these factors with us around this time last year.
We actually do have a number of female graduates who we see graduating and moving into corporate spaces. The challenge then comes in, when you start reaching your middle management tier of careers, where we start losing a lot of females in that tier. And this could be linked to many different issues, right? And in most instances, we may choose to have children at your childbearing age, which might be in your 20s. And if you choose to do that more often than not, and I know I'm an example of this, and there's many females in the sector that I know too, where you may choose to want to prioritize your family. So the responsibility that we have as corporates is to create an enabling environment that will allow women to come back and be integrated into our organizations should they wish to come back after maternity leave. What this entails might be something so simplistic, but as an example, a mother's room that you could put in corporate spaces in case mothers who are coming back into the work environment want to, continue breastfeeding their children as an example. It's providing safe spaces for them to do so. I think some of the, advantages or things that the pandemic has done is moving us into remote working. So I think what that will also require is flexibility as it pertains to allowing people to choose when they can work, because ultimately it should come down to productivity and my delivery.
Many strides are being made by different organizations to try and close this gender, digital, and STEM skills divide. Youth-led organization Digify Africa is one such place, with programs that aim to get the youth, including girls, actively participating in the digital economy.
Let's have a conversation to explore the career opportunities that are available for young people within the digital industry. This year, our focus has been on the creative and cultural industries and really taking a look at what new technologies have meant for the creative industry and what kind of new careers exist for young people to explore.
Giant tech companies such as Meta are too getting involved in making sure that all receive equal opportunities in digital spaces.
Our goal as Meta is very, very clear: to drive positive social economic impact across the sub-Saharan Africa. How do we do this? By driving innovation through supporting Africa's tech entrepreneurship, the whole entire ecosystem, by training communities and the next generation of leaders to better understand and utilize the power of digital tools for economic growth.
Digital content creator Maurice Terry says that she is excited about prospects of being part of the digital economy.
I think what's great about the digital age we're living in is that it it gives us and affords us a lot of opportunities to be creative and to pursue our dreams and actually make them a reality. I mean, nowadays people are making a living through content creation. So I think I'm just so grateful that Digify and Meta are affording the youth this type of opportunity to make opportunities for themselves instead of depending on finding work, so that we can make an income for ourselves and also improve the economy.
Though the data of women participation in STEM may seem bleak, it is not all doom and gloom, as a lot of work is being done to remedy these disparities.
Often, a lot of areas in our townships do not have a digital footprint, and therefore they're hard to find online. But there's a new startup that we have in our Startup Corner this week. They aim to give a digital footprint to township schools.
So the name of our platform is Baina, and you can find us at baina.vision. And what we're doing is just going around the country and trying to bridge the digital divide between our township schools and our rural schools. And people can just go onto the platform and register to have their schools come online and to have their learners come online. In this digital age, I think a lot of our schools, particularly in underprivileged areas, so locations or townships and rural areas, a lot of them are digitally absent. You think about our rich schools, our private schools, all of them have some form of digital identity and digital presence because they understand the importance of that in the new world that we live in. A lot of our township schools and rural schools are priced out, or they don't have the know-how on how to come online and develop their digital identity. So a lot of them then end up trying to do things on Facebook or Twitter and whatnot, but there's a misunderstanding as to what those platforms actually mean, what those platforms highlight. Different spaces bring about different conversations. So we've created a platform that's very easy to use, in the same way that you would create a Facebook account, a Twitter account, or any social media account. We figured that we needed an easy means of allowing our schools, our school administrators that are typically older, principals and guidance counselors and the like. We needed to find an easy way for them to be able to register their schools or open accounts for their schools, basically in an easy way. So Baina is that platform that allows them to open up a profile for their school and begin to connect to the wider world in terms of finding resources, in terms of collaborating with various organizations, and primarily in terms of just being seen and to communicate whatever it is the school might want to communicate or advertise to the public. Practically how it works is exactly what I said. You just go onto our platform and select, open account or register new account, and follow the steps in the same way that we all followed steps when opening our Facebook accounts or Instagram accounts or TikTok accounts. So we wanted to make it as easy as possible, using the language of social media to almost teach a new subject.
A lot of vehicle makers are now going the direction of electric vehicles because they offer clean technology. There is a South African scooter that is called Green Scooter that is also a ride-sharing service. It's been launched by Fezile Dlamini. It aims to help communities in various townships. They've started in Gauteng.
Power is an issue. So it doesn't really directly affect me, but it does affect my sales, because when people think they'll have range anxiety, that, oh, what if I go to this place and there's no energy? When I built the business in survival mode. And I always encourage it with all of my clients, is that always think in survival mode in the event that you may not have power in a particular day, or look at an alternative. The townships is a place for me that sits close to home, because when would the township ever have seen electric vehicles in it, like actually operating, and where people can use the vehicles to generate an income and take more money back home because they don't have those fossil fuel troubles. If you can contribute towards fixing it, if you can contribute towards empowering and elevating your own society, and that's why I'm doing it. I mean, it's a socially impactful business. This over here, that over there is where the battery sits, right? So we've got the battery that sits right there, center of gravity purposes.
So the battery sits under the seat?
Under the seat, for center of gravity.
Right.
And I mean, you've got your handlebars, you've got 2 USB ports over there, you've got seat belts for both drivers and passengers. We're the only vehicle, again, in this particular category that's taken safety to this level that we're at. We do stress testing on our seat belts. We've done crash test reporting on our vehicles as well. I mean, I've done donuts in this vehicle. I mean, if you go online, you can see my videos. I've pushed the vehicle to the max to show that it's a quality product. Are there chances of capsizing? Not so much if you drive it well and if you know what it is that you're doing. And then seats for passengers. So the passengers as well, they also have seat belts. So no one is isolated from a safety perspective. Our cargo vehicle, here it is closed off, right? So meaning that you'll have a door feature at the back.
Just move to the
and then with that door function, that's where you'll put in all your goods. Right here, it's a boot. So there's a boot space over here. I mean, it's about 50 cubic centimeters of space. Can't really. I don't have the key to open it. I would have opened it for you guys. Take you through this. Let me show you the charging side. Right?
Okay.
So the most important thing for EV development is simplicity in terms of usage. So what we have is that you can literally charge it using a 2-phase, 3-phase wall socket. So you just plug it in your 240 volts at home, extension cord.
How long?
About 3.5 hours. So 3.5 hours you get a full charge. And public funding with its government parastatals, they don't work so much, and they don't even work for anything that's innovative for the youth. So you come as a black person, I'll use that, and you go and you approach them like, this is my idea. The first point of contact will tell you it's not going to work or we don't do this. But when you look at government policies, which have been there since 2015, 13, and in line with what I'm doing, it's there.
It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we chat about how to bring township children up to speed with the gig economy. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, a lot of people often complain about the digital divide that exists in South Africa, where you find that a lot of townships are being left behind and not a lot of township students are able to go to universities such as this one. We are at the Durban University of Technology today to learn about new tech advancements that already exist. And there are organizations and programs like Kasi Goes Digital that are trying to help township youth in order for them to be brought up to speed with what's happening and to upskill them as well. And I am with Simo Nzama, who is the founder and convener of Kasi Goes Digital, which is trying to assist in this space in some townships here in South Africa. Simo, hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network. Maybe we can start by explaining to us, why do you think there's a need for township youth to learn about these new tech advancements?
It's simply because we also need to catch up with the speed of the technological advancement. It's imperative for us to be part and parcel of what is happening around the world.
And what kind of work do you think needs to be done in the townships?
It's imperative for us to teach, to train, and to give people like the so-called skills that will enable them to be part of the digitalization. You know, it's imperative that we decentralize the idea of sharing information, so that, you know, these kids will move along with what is currently happening.
And what is happening?
The world is changing, brother, to be quite honest. When we talk about digitalization, when we talk about the 4IR, it's something else. It's something that we really need to familiarize ourselves with. Otherwise, if we're not aware of what is happening, it means we're going to fall off the wagon.
Some might worry about opportunities because you do hear, for example, of graduates who can't find employment. Are there opportunities that exist in those spaces?
We are in the era where we need to create more than looking for the employment, and this phase of the technological advancement, it allows us to create jobs, right? So that is why I say these kids, they need to know what is happening, whether they are interested or not, but we will take them through the process so that they can fit into the universe.
We sometimes hear about the smart cities that are being built, or new cities, and they obviously can't function the way older cities have functioned in the past, no?
All right, I'm happy that you have touched based on the matter of the smart cities, the greener cities. Yes, it's happening, like right here in Shongweni. There's something that is being built, and there is the other one in Lanseria in Joburg. So these cities that are being built, they will require these kids to be there and operate, or for them to be functional, because sometimes people, they like when they think of the 4IR, they are too scared. They are thinking that robots are coming, they are taking over and meanwhile we are the ones who are going to be controlling the very same robots. All these systems, they're going to be controlled by us. That is why, like I'm saying, that these kids, they need to learn you're called coding, the information of things. There are a number of things that we can even talk about within the framework of technology.
As Kasi goes digital, how are you going about the projects that you are embarking on to ensure that Township Youth is also brought up to speed?
We are there to assist the youth, not forgetting the elders, to catch up with the speed of the technological advancement so that they will know exactly what needs to be done.
All right, Simo Nzama, thank you very much for being a part of our network. Simo Nzama there is the founder and convener of Kasi Goes Digital, an initiative that's trying to help township youth be brought up to speed with new tech advancement and also gain a few tech skills at the same time as well. It is a SABC network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Let's take a short break. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
5 Egyptian students have won first place in a global healthcare design competition for a non-invasive glucose monitoring device. The students from the American University in Cairo say the Gluco Clip aims to serve as a substitute for finger pricking or other invasive blood tests, potentially influencing lives of millions of diabetics around the world.
الجهاز ده هو شبه الجهاز بتاع الأكسجين اللي بيقيس أكسجين في الدم. المفروض اللي بيقيس بيحط صباعه جوه الجهاز، ويا إما بيضغط على الزرار اللي هنا أو بيستخدم موبايل أبليكيشن بتكون متوصلة بالجهاز عن طريق البلوتوث. من ساعة ما بيدوس على الأبليكيشن بيبتدي الجهاز يقيس، ياخد القراءات عشان يقيس السكر في الدم. والقراءات بتظهر على الشاشة على طول، وبتظهر برضو على التليفون على الابليكيشن. على الابليكيشن تقدر تشوف القياسات السابقة، يعني تشوف الهيستوري بتاعك، وتقدر تشوف على جراف، يعني تقدر تشوف شكل الهيستوري بتاعك عامل ازاي.
The device uses near-infrared spectroscopy and connects to a mobile app, allowing easier and more convenient monitoring of blood glucose levels. And now in England. A London-based startup wants to help you step into the metaverse with your real face instead of the cartoon-like avatars of today's metaverse and video games. Lumirhythmic, a spin-off from Imperial College London, has developed artificial intelligence-powered software that can create lifelike digital model of a person's face in minutes using off-the-shelf technology.
So at Lumirhythmic, we are trying to create the most realistic possible 3D reconstructions of human faces, and 3D computer graphics objects that want to populate the metaverse.
Lumirhythmic is preparing to pilot the technology with gaming, beauty tech and edtech companies and will start a new equity around sometime this year with an aim to rolling the technology out more widely. And now in the US. Nearly 2 decades ago, one man's dream of creating the world's largest exoskeleton mesh suit was born atop the Playa at Burning Man Festival in California's Black Rock Desert and brought home to Vancouver and Squamish, British Columbia. He admits that the technology and cost to create the mesh suit still has a way to go, but says the second generation of mesh suits they are working on will be much cheaper than the first.
If the goal of this whole project and this technology was to create a new human experience, it has been a smashing success because there is literally nothing like it. Nothing like getting in a giant 4,000 kilogram, 200 horsepower mech suit.
Millions of dollars in research and development, visits to trade conventions and art shows, and a global pandemic later, they have fully operational exoskeleton mesh that has astounded people across the globe.
There's been a massive crypto winter this year, but it seems like things are changing because there are investors who are now reported to be moving in the direction of a cryptocurrency. This week, To The Poll is asking you if you are starting to trust crypto again. Right, and that's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network. Now that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's newsnetwork at sabc.co.za. An email from me, Spumelele Zondi, and the rest of the team right here in the Drakensberg. Have a good one. Bye-bye.